be it emotional, be it financial or others. This is the definition of resilience as we were told before, just before going on air, by Mr. Hussam Eddin Nabil, certified Neuro-Semantics NLP trainer. Thank you so much for being with us, and we need to know more about the definition of resilience.
Let's start, as Hind said, by defining what is Neuro-Semantics in the first place.
Okay. First, we would like to define Neuro-Semantics.
Yeah.
Okay. At the beginning, Neuro-Semantics means how we embody meanings inside our body. This is the simplest definition. By that we means we are as we are now because of the meanings that were embodied as we grow up from children. As a children, we were brought in a certain way. We were taught certain things. We had certain beliefs and ideas that became part of us. So we behave the way we behave now, and we act and express ourselves according to the meanings that we live by in life. So this is the simplest way to define Neuro-Semantics. Neuro means the neurology of your body, and it represents the things that are embodied in our subconscious mind. So that's why we act this way. And semantics means meanings. So Neuro-Semantics is about how we embody meanings inside our body, and as we embody these meanings, we act on life according to these meanings. So
if I get you right, it's the physical reaction to the emotional heritage that we have within us. Am I correct? Do I get it?
It is the norms, the understandings, the beliefs, the thoughts that we have inside our subconscious mind that let us behave the way we behave. So
the ideological
yes.
pile up inside us,
yes,
that leads us
to act this way,
to act in a certain way.
Yes.
Okay.
So when we explore the meanings, when we sit with someone and try to explore the meanings that are embodied inside him with regard to a certain situation or an event, we understand now why he behaved this way. Sometimes we have some sick meanings, like the meanings that are toxic to us, that does not help us to be at our best state in life. So we need to reframe these meanings and make it more powerful meanings for us. So this is Neuro-Semantics. And one of the applications of Neuro-Semantics is the resilience. We teach how to have the resilience state in your life. And actually resilience is not a simple state. It's a complex state because it's composed of many embodied states inside resilience. So for example, when I want to compare a complex state to a primary state, we would say anger, for example, is just a simple primary state. Anger, sadness, happiness, relaxation. This is a simple state. But resilience involves many embodied states inside this. So resilience is a complex state. It's a gestalt state. We call it gestalt state. Because inside resilience we have self-esteem, we have self-confidence, we have a vision, a purpose, a belief, yes. Why are we here in life? We have an optimistic view, an attitude toward life. We have a way of seeing failure as a feedback. So we accept and appreciate our skills and many things in life, and we let go of our setbacks and move on. So resilience actually is a very complex state that involves many things.
Okay, talking about resilience, is it you that can promote, bolster your resilience, or you need outside help for a psychiatrist, for example?
Yeah, it could be already embodied in ourselves, and that's how we modeled resilience. We saw some people who had this attitude in life, they have resilience. And other people who don't have this skill or this attitude toward life, they could embody the meanings that could help them be resilient. That's why we teach resilience, how we can be a resilient in our life.
So it can be learned?
It can be learned, yes.
Yeah.
Is this because it exists in each and every one of us, but the amount differs from one person to the other according to perspectives, according
Yes.
to beliefs, according to religious beliefs? I guess does religion play a role in this area?
Yeah.
Because if you believe, sometimes if you believe that this was meant to happen because God wants it to happen,
Exactly.
maybe this would help me to
Exactly.
deal with it in a certain way.
Exactly.
Am I right?
Actually, religion plays a vital role in this state, because when you have this sense that what happened is just a fate, it was meant to happen, then you will let go. And instead of asking why this happened to me, and being in a state of resisting.
Natural for us to ask why did this happen to me, but I believe the answer always comes from within
Yes,
us,
exactly.
because God wants you to learn a lesson, because
Yes.
even if you don't
Exactly.
have that much religious beliefs, because you need to learn from what happens to you.
Exactly. So learning from our own experience and believing that what happened was meant to happen, and accepting this as something that is a fate, something that is we could learn from and move on in life, will help us to have a strong resilience attitude. Yes.
Okay. Sir, can we train ourselves to be resilient?
Yeah. Actually, there is a training in Neuro-Semantics called Mastering Resilience, or Dancing with Change. Because actually, as a resilient person, you dance with change. You have a flexible attitude toward coping with change. Now in in our days, we have many changes in our political issues, economic issues, and many things are happening around us. So if we don't have the ability to adapt with this change and cope with change, we will have a hard time dealing with these events around us. So when you have the ability to deal with change, you will be able to reach your goal, because you will be adaptive to whatever comes to you. And you will face obstacles, yes, but you will see them as challenges, not as obstacles. So you will have an attitude of maybe a challenger who wants to prove himself, and he can do it actually, and instead of having an attitude, why is this happening to me?
Let's discuss it from another point of view. Let's say that, for example, I am a resilient person,
Yeah.
okay? But I am surrounded by people who are less resilient. So those people who are less resilient than me would produce negative energy to me, would give
Yes.
me negative energy instead of positive energy. How
Exactly.
can I protect my resilience? How can I protect myself in this case?
Very good question. First, you have to have a very strong sense of your own power, because as a person you have 4 human powers, and you have to have a strong ownership of these powers. First is you have thoughts, and this is your thoughts, and this is your emotions, my speech and my actions. So you will have a strong sense of responsibility toward your life. You will not let any people affect you in terms of your emotions or your thoughts, and impose their thoughts upon you. So this is your power zone. We call it your power zone.
Is it easy in a society where you live close to family obligations, and you are surrounded by people all the time, and there are certain relations that you need to respect? Do you understand my question?
Yes, I understand.
Yes. For example, if I'm a resilient person, my parents are less resilient, and I'm living with my parents, or I'm somehow associated or affected by how they think and how they react.
Yeah.
How can I protect myself in this case? How can I give them positive energy instead of receiving negative energy from them?
Okay. As a resilient person, you always, when you shine as a resilient person, and they see how successful you are, this is the way you prove to them that this is the way they should be too. And the ability to help yourself and protect yourself from their negative influence upon you you have to have this strong sense of your own self as a person, and that you are more than your thoughts, that you are more than your emotions, more than your speech and actions, and you are more than all the experiences that you went through, and you are all also more than the roles that you play in life. So you are much more than whatever happens to you. You have a strong sense of self-esteem and self-acceptance and self-appreciation and self-confidence. This is very important, and as people saw you in this image, they will get the positive energy from you.
Okay. So is resilient absolute? I mean, if you are a resilient person, will you be resilient in all situations in front of any challenges and any while encountering any kind of problems, be they financial, be they emotional? Is it absolute?
Yes, it's a general attitude in life. So if I have a financial crisis, for example, some people would fall down and they will never come back again, because they were hit so much, and they don't want to pull themselves back again. So when you have this resilient attitude that you can make it again, and that you can gain what you lost again, because you have a strong sense of self, and you know that you can do it. This is what we call. This could happen in relationships, in career, in anything that you encounter in life, that you have a strong sense that you can. It's not impossible. You have this attitude of there is always a possibility.
Sir, as a parent, how can I teach my kids to be resilient? How can I implement resilience in them, and at what age exactly? As early as
they're 1 year old or 2 years old. Or
what is the mechanism? How can I do it?
I let them express themselves, because as parents we sometimes impose our own thoughts and our own things on them. So let them express themselves as they are, and guide them through positive feedback. Sometimes we give our children a hard time giving them a very negative feedback, so that they feel low about themselves. They don't have the right to think or feel, and this is very important. Give them the ownership of their own thoughts and feelings, and let them express themselves. So be playful with them. Let them explore all the possibilities.
When you
that
see
they can.
an oppressed person, you know that as a child he was not able to express himself, and his parents
were imposing
their own ideas and ideologies on him. Right. So I believe I understand your situation, but how can you deal with such persons? I mean, I have come across so many people who are very aggressive. They have a very aggressive attitude, and when you look into their lives, you know that as children they have been oppressed by one of the parents normally. Most of the time it was the father controlling their attitude, controlling their wishes, controlling their everything, and they are unable to take any decisions in their lives. How can you deal with such people?
We have
Do they need a lot of training in order to regain their self-confidence?
In this case we do one-to-one coaching sessions with them. As a coach, I've been through many cases that I faced with people who had so much oppression in their childhood and their lives in general, or their spouse, or people around them. So they had this strong sense that they are a victim. They are helpless.
But they look for people to be victimized. I mean, they look for more people to oppress them. Am I right?
Yeah. So the solution is to give them back the freedom
self-confidence
and the self-confidence, self-esteem, and their own sense of self, and that they are more than their thoughts, their emotions, their speech and behavior.
Okay, Mr. Hussein-Eddin Nabil, certified Neuro-Semantics NLP trainer, thank you so much for this very informative discussion this morning.
Thank you very much, sir. Although I believe that it's a very difficult task to do, but thank you very much for the information. And ladies and gentlemen, that's all for this edition of the Breakfast Show. Thank you very much, Hind, for
Thank you,
being with us
Hala.
today.
And don't forget to join us tomorrow for the next edition of Breakfast Show here on Native International at 8:30 a.m.